Hello! Guess what we're going to talk about today? Actually, I've got a bit of a show and tell. I'm going to show you something and I'm going to tell the person who gave it to me. I'll tell you about it too. This is a new, not even an acquisition, a new gift from my buddy Robert. This is a Sun Oaks Kite reel. Really pretty cool. I'll show you all about it here in just a second. What's funny is when you do a search for Sun Oak kites, there's not a lot that comes up about the company itself. I mean, there's people selling their stuff, but there's not a lot of information about them. So I turned to the AI mode of good old Google, and it filled us in and tells us a little bit that these are vintage, made in, it doesn't say it on this page, English, Indiana. I didn't know there was an English, Indiana, but I don't know a lot about Indiana. Additionally, when I read his information about the Kite company and the real manufacturer a couple of weeks ago, I read it as English, as in made in England type products. And I thought, cool, this thing made it all the way over the pond. But no, that is not the case. So in regards to the reels, same guy, same place. They were known for their Crankmaster Kite line reel, custom built solid tulip poplar and hardwoods. Which one? And this is a Crankmaster. You'll find a couple of postings on eBay, and here's one that has 3 different spools from a couple of different manufacturers, but here is the one from Sun Oak Kites. I like the fact that the name is branded on the Kite reel. I have no idea how much line this holds. Let's see, scroll down a little bit. So what do I know so far about this Kite reel? Not a lot. Robert and I have been flying kites at the beach for more than years, probably over a decade, and I wanted to take on a project for the channel to build a wooden kite reel, because I'd seen a couple of fun examples, and Robert's an engineer. I'm analytically minded. I like to design stuff, and it'd give me some video to shoot for the channel. So he ran across this at an estate sale, or some of us might know as a yard sale. So everything on this is wooden, except for some of the hardware, like the bolt and the nuts that go through the knob, nails holding the frame together. There's a couple of nails holding the spool together, and then this little bit over here, which is a locking mechanism. I'll demonstrate that in a moment. Where's it at? There it is. There's a little pin nail right there. Everything else is wooden. It's a very, I don't want to say simple, but elegant design. This, make sure I don't have tension on it. There's a little bit of wiggle in the handle and it causes it to bind. But this bar is the lock for the handle. Keeps the handle from spinning. So once you get while you've got it in storage, or after you get the line out that you want, you can lock the handle in place so that the spool doesn't unwind. But when there's a little notch right here that when you unlock the handle and move this outside, the notch is on the outside, and this flips down into the notch to keep that from sliding and getting in the way of the handle. Elegant. A little piece of copper that looks like it's hand cut and bent. It isn't, well, it's been touched enough that it's not oxidized. It looks to be about 1,000 feet of line on here, and the only way to find out is to let it out with a kite and an altimeter. I was playing with this a moment ago without the image being as large as it is now, and realized that it's backwards for a right-hander. So if I'm holding onto this and I want to crank it in like a fishing reel, I want to push down to crank the line in. So the person who flew this must have been a lefty. And this is easy enough to fix we just unspool all of the line and then pull it back in. Easier said than done. Lesson learned is to have another spool that you can put this on and spool it up on that and then spool it back on. So we'll spool it all off and then reverse the spin of the spool, which will make it for a right-hander. So everything looks like it is hand done. The guide hole, see those little jitter marks? That looks like it was done with multiple drill holes, and then they probably sanded it with a file or something. You can still feel them. All of the sanding along the corners is done by hand because it's irregular. You can see where they just knocked the corners off, which is cool. There is a little crack right there in the handle. Nothing that a little wood glue and a clamp won't fix. I'll probably take that nail out first though, glue it together and then put it back in and maybe shore that up because we do have a little wiggle. Shore that up with a piece of paper or something. The nails have worked themselves slightly proud because a kite with a good wind, depending on the size of the kite and depending on the wind, can put a lot of stress and strain on a kite reel, particularly one of this construction. It does not have any supports inside the corners to keep it square, which would help with strength. So this could easily get racked and wiggle those nails out. Note that this is one-piece construction. And that's just cut down. I suspect that that's the handle. If it were me, I would have shaped it a little bit differently. Probably made it a little bit longer for larger hands. You could also hold that if you wanted to as a brake. But if you're going to do that, then you need a mechanism by which to suspend this from your body. So my kite rig and Robert's kite rig both have shoulder straps that we put around our neck or our neck and our shoulder so that we can rest our arms, and this part rests against our stomach and allows the kite to fly. So this is groovy. So there are a number of different designs of kite reels. There are a number of types of kite reels that are used. One of the simplest is the one that's behind my head, is a spool or just a stick, and then you wrap the string around it. This little red handle thingy jiggy comes with every kite that you buy from every big box store and retailer in the world, and then they get expensive. This is similar to a design that Robert has. It has a bicycle disc brake in the middle of it, which is cool. It's got a bike ratchet handle that adjusts how much tension is on the brake. This is also one that he tried out. We've tried out one of these. We've tried out one of these. All sorts of really cool, fun ones. Like I said, this is the most basic. The one that's behind my head. There are a variety, like I said, that we've seen and used. So a lot of these, because of the crank mechanism, because of the philosophy, the logic of having line and needing to reel it in and out, these ideas come from fishing. And this spool right here is called a hand fishing reel, and it's popular all over the world. I think some of the first ones that I found are either from the Caribbean or Pacific region. I don't remember. And see, there's some gorgeous ones that are hand carved out of wood, which are really, really neat. I used one of these on our honeymoon to hand fish for fish off of a reef. It was straight down, and the rock was a weight. No, the weight was a rock or a piece of dead coral. Another story for another day. These are of the fishing variety, or the fishing style, because it has a pole and a handle and a crank that you wind on it. I guess you can also use them for fishing. Yep, this one right here. The green one right there. That's a popular design. Typically stainless steel components or all plastic, ball bearings on the inside. And you use your thumb, you hold on to the bit in the middle, and then you put your thumb against the reel as the brake. So that can get a little scary. My rig is actually a fishing reel on some EMT. See the video up. Put a link up here. A yo-yo hoop kite line string winder. It's not worth 40 bucks. You can pick these up all day for less than $10 with, 500 feet of line on them. Here are some other designs. This one is very popular. Where's my head? There's my head. This one is very popular, as it's just a hand over the other in a design. And there's, you are the brake, you are the mechanism, you are everything. And you hold on to it, or you let it go, or you wind it in. Here's one kind of in action that rotates around the handle. Where's my head? Dang it. Here's one that rotates around this handle. Very similar to a traditional spool style. This one gets a little bit more artistic. Where's my head? This one gets a little bit more artistic, and is something I'm interested in trying in the future. This is the same one from a different profile, or different view. Let's see. There it is. And from the side, it looks like that. There's the other one. So there are a variety, and there's some. Oh, here's one that's made from wood, hand carved. That looks very similar to what I have. Let's visit site. Variety of styles. And they can get fairly complicated. This one is neat. Oh, I'll show you why. So I had not thought about this design on a kite scale, but fishing rods and reels as we know it today have not been around forever. My grandfather was an angler, and he loved to travel the country and fish everywhere and different types of fishing. That side of the family, my dad's side of the family, including his mother's side of his family, and his father, were very adventurous in their adventures. In sorting through my grandfather's stuff long after he passed, and we were moving on for a variety of reasons, we found, I had seen this before, this reel. And it's got a wooden spool. And this webcam is not doing as good as I thought. I'm going to have to upgrade. These are bent wire. They're all uniform. Oh, where's it at? There's a nut right here that you use to tighten down on the spool. That's your drag. This part attaches to the rod, and then this is the guide for the line to come out. And so I don't know how it would work if you're a righty, but it would be on the pole like this, and when you wanted to reel it in, you would literally put your finger inside and wind it around. You wanted to let line out, and then you could hold this part of the hub as the brake. This was split and then brazed in that little eyelet. You can see where this was just a bolt. Oops, that this was a bolt that was bent. I'll do a better one on this. Anyway, I just want to. Now this is made for a righty, and it's got a handle on this side. Attaches to the rod. I think this knob over here. Oh, yep, that's the drag. Tighten that up. You can hear it squeak as it rubs against the metal. And then that gets really, really hard to turn. But yeah, these were called. So I took a picture of it with my phone, and it says antique rotary metal tie rack. Nope. So the AI can't find anything on the wooden one, which is kind of cool. So the AI says that the metal one is an Indiana style reel, which gets us back to the kite reel. I was making a connection. And this is a Mark reel manufacturer, while labeled Mark reel, actually produced by a B&H tool company. Most notable Indiana style are Henry Kite, K-I-E-S-T. There's lots of those that have sold. I can show you those on screen. So here's some better imagery of the Mark style. That one looks like it's brass, whereas this one is stainless. I'll look into this some more. It's interesting to see these because they were literally tucked away in a box my entire life. Something suggested these were manufactured in the 40s and 50s. So yeah, this was, something fun or exciting that my grandfather came across and liked and, used. I think there's another one. Actually, my dad's mother's sister had a box. We've just got to find the box now, which had a couple of these in them, and some of the little yoke were broken. These look like they were welded together, and I think the ones that she had was different. We'll have to see if we can find those. But it has the name right there. You can't read it because it's oxidized. He liked the saltwater fish too. And I can almost guarantee that other than putting a little oil on it, he never cleaned them. So it's a wonder that they spent it all. Not too bad. And then the other one is just gorgeous. They're in a display case because, the box is falling apart. Anyway, I started off talking about this thing, which my buddy Robert picked up at an estate sale locally here, which was unusual, which means that somebody was using it locally. Kite flying as a whole is not super big in our part of the world. That's why we go elsewhere to fly the kites. Anyway, so this is the Sun Oak Kites Crankmaster. And then there's just some others that kind of relate to just what goes on with the industry. So, stay tuned. Not today, but later. So come back. Maybe we'll clean this up, get the nails back in, glue this back together, and re-spool the line and build one or a couple. My point of pointing it out to Robert is I wanted us to build a set of reels together that, would just be fun. He can hand it down to his daughter. I can hand it off to my nephew or whoever else is interested, and have fun while we're doing it. Now that I got a big shop and tools to play with. So if you've got an interest in any of these items, drop a comment below and I'll do a follow-up, do a little bit more research. And if you know anything about any of these products, please comment. I'll try to get the tagging in there appropriately so that it gets out to the most people who are looking for this kind of stuff. Anyway, thanks for stopping by. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it.
Too many hobbies, not enough time.
It's a theme song, y'all.